This week, Selena of the Hauoli, Socially Inspired, and Anna of No Matter About host Caitlynn Eldridge, Eldridge CPA LLC. Caitlynn is more than an accounting whiz. She's a business advisor, a strategic decision maker that knows how to take your business financials and build a plan so you reach your financial goals. Ta-da!
Yay!
Oh, what's up, girl? She is fancy today. She got like multiple camera views. I only have one.
I don't know what is going on with my camera. I'm so sorry. This was actually fixed before we actually started the video, and now all of a sudden it's no longer fixed. So
you're wonderful.
I don't know how that happens.
Are you good? Do you have your coffee?
I think I'm good. I might be a little bit cockeyed. I feel like I'm like sliding sideways or something, but you know, we're gonna run with it today.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
So, Selena, tell us who's sitting next to you. I'm so excited to have a guest right now.
Hey guys, I wanted to say hello to Joanne. This is my mother-in-law. I love her so much.
She's great. I've met her like 3 times.
Yes,
she's awesome.
You may notice her in our intro video, which she's like,
yeah.
She's not feeling it. She wants to redo it.
I want to try, definitely.
So we may have a photo shoot with her before she goes home. But we thought it would be fun to bring her on to the intro, do a coffee cup selfie with Caitlynn, and then she's gonna skedaz.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
I've got my 5 minutes of fame, right?
That's right.
Ish, remember, because our show's
ish.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, we are terrible at keeping it 15 minutes. It's like 15-ish times 4 coffee chat.
Or a 59-ish minute.
Right, exactly.
I was showing Mom this. Oh yeah, because in England, show them your mug.
Oh
yeah, she's
I
really ready. Go there, all the way there. Perfect.
Oh, I love it.
If you haven't guessed, she's not from here. She's from here, but not from here. We were going over last Friday's show with Camille Shire, Miss America 2020.
Oh.
Camille. We're on first name basis now. She gets just to be Camille, our friend Camille.
Oh yeah, we call her Camille now because we're like that cool.
Oh my gosh. Well, you were cool anyway.
Yeah. Oh, thanks, Mom.
Yeah, right. Oh, that's so cute.
But we did. We watched it this weekend. What I could like make them watch again, you know, and so it was nice. It's nice having Mom here, but and it was so awesome having Camille on.
Yeah, it really was. She just has changed my whole view of, I guess, the competition world, that whole competition world, and really what the purpose of it is. And then even just her as a person, she is really cool. Like, she's the kind of person I'd want to just go out for coffee with and hang out with. Like, I feel like we could be friends.
Yeah.
In real life friends.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, she's so down to earth and so witty and funny. And, you know, I mean, she wasn't like dressed to the nines and wearing her crown when she popped on. She's like, good morning. It's like 11 a.m. and I'm in my PJs still. You know?
I know. Oh, wait, I have to let my dog out. Excuse us real fast.
Yeah, right.
There, we'll just leave it slightly. You're ruining. She's like, well, she just wants the door open. That's it. That's fine, Mom. It's okay. Yeah. Okay. No, and she was, and you know, the one thing that Joanne had said was, she's like, wow, like in my time, she was very, what did you say about Camille? Like when we were just watching her, like she's so white, or for her age, and
she was beautiful to
right.
start with.
Right.
She is
intelligent and knows knows the world, and yeah, I mean, she's very smart lady.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you could tell just even from that brief conversation, right? You could tell how smart she was and just how like I feel like she's such a good representation of what I would want people to think of America in general, right? I mean that's what the Miss America pageant's all about right there. I was like, scored on this one. She's great.
I couldn't believe she was only 24.
Mm-hmm.
She was only 24, and she was so knowledgeable of everything and talented.
Yeah.
I mean, that was incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nailed it.
Yeah.
I'm on next week. I'll be here next week.
Yes. So for anyone that missed last week's show, go watch the replay. And if you're kind of fangirling like Selena and I and Joanne now is fangirling a little bit for Miss America, go watch some of her YouTube videos, follow our YouTube channel, social media, just to kind of keep up with what she's going to do. Because I have a feeling this woman's going to do some really amazing things in her lifetime.
Oh, yeah. Totally.
And I'm kind of excited to follow that, just to see where she goes from here. Because I'm sure when she was like 5, she wasn't like, I'm going to be Miss America someday. Actually, what she said is she was like, I'm going to be a scientist.
Yeah.
She's bold. Yeah. And that's so cool.
She's so smart. Like, seriously.
Right.
And I love, I want it to be all the kids, like, very awesome role model.
Yes.
So that leads us into another awesome woman that we're having on today. Like, amazing awesome, right?
Yes.
So bring in her bio, and Anna will read all about her.
Yeah, so I'm going to tell you a little bit about our guest today, Caitlynn. Caitlynn Eldridge is a mom of 4 cute kids, and I'm not kidding. I've seen one of them. Adorable. She is a military spouse and a podcast enthusiast. Okay, so at last count, she was subscribed to 86 podcasts, which I don't even know how she keeps up with all that, but 86. Caitlynn is a CPA who adores serving businesses as a full-service financial solution. So she handles bookkeeping, taxes, planning, and preparation, and most importantly, coaching around personal and business money mindsets. Caitlynn's work is changing the businesses and lives of 6- and 7-figure coaches, consultants, and entrepreneurs. We are so excited to have Caitlynn come on with us today. Let's bring her on in.
Ready?
We got one of those 4 cute kids in our hands.
Yes.
Hi, little one.
Yeah, you're cute. You're trouble.
This is like, talk about a virtual CFO right here, right?
Yeah.
What a virtual working is.
Here's what I love. I love that anyone watching, please understand, this is the life of a working stay-at-home mom. Right? Like that does both of those things right here. You are literally on conference calls, answering phones, or typing with one hand holding a baby. I love it.
Yes.
Welcome, Caitlynn. Hi.
Yeah. Makes lots of appearances.
Totally. So we send you the booking requirement, or for the little ones, like we send you a booking, like, hi, can we have not you, Caitlynn, but the little ones? Like,
Correct. Just a little one, please.
Yeah, right. Okay, so why don't we, we're going to introduce our topic first, and then we're going to go into our coffee cup selfie, so everybody knows. Hold on, Anna will, no, that's not it. Hold on.
We can just do that right down there. I got the ticker going, Selena.
All right, we're talking about finances and what's your money mindset. Caitlynn is the perfect person to talk about this today. One, because I found her and she helps me mind my money. Thank gosh, because I know, right? So anyway, that's our topic. But why don't we, if we can? All right, little one, are you ready for your coffee cup selfie? All right, ready on 3, everybody. 1, 2, 3. Yay. All right. So Mom here is gonna.
She's throwing me out.
I'm throwing her out.
Hi, Joanne.
No, she was so pleased to get rid of me. I'm so sorry. Bye, everyone. Bye, Caitlynn. Bye, Anna.
It's nice to meet you.
On and making me famous.
Yeah, now get out.
Get out. All right.
All right.
Sorry, I forgot.
It's hysterical. I love her. She's so fun. You get so lucky when you score like a great mother-in-law.
Oh, totally. Yes.
And so we are real fast. I'm just going to go through. We have some friends here. Hi, Stacy.
Yay. Hi, Stacy.
Oh, hi, John. Good morning. And okay, all done. Okay. All right. Sorry. Let's do it. Let's get into
Okay, let's talk just really quick. I was ready to jump into questions, but we got to back up for just a minute. So, Caitlynn, we always start with our mental health question of the day. So the way this came about, we explain this to every guest because they don't always know. They're always like, mental health question, don't open my closets. Our very first guest this season was a family and marriage therapist. And our conversation was really about mental health and in your workplace, and kind of the fact that you talk a lot about your own personal mental health, but we don't discuss it a lot when it comes to your work environment and how to maintain a positive and healthy environment for mental health purposes within whether you're a solopreneur or whether you have 15 employees or 50 employees or 500 employees, whatever it might be. So we asked Lauren to be our mental health barista for this season. And she brings us a little coffee cup question, the kind of thing that we would sit with a little cup of coffee in hand and chat about. And today's question is, Selena.
How does mental health and wellness impact your role as a CPA?
Oh, that's a good one. I'd say in the industry as a whole, it's not a priority. So you're talking about an industry that works January through April, 90 hours a week. We take a little bit of time off in the summers, and then we hit it back September through October. And so that was a big reason I left the big companies, is because I couldn't do it. Like, I couldn't stay healthy and do it. I had way more breakdowns working that kind of industry than I have had since. And I have 4 kids now. So like, life is still crazy, but it's just a more balanced crazy, and one that I much prefer. And it's been a lot better. I will say though, like, when Congress does the crap like they're doing, when Congress does the stuff that they're doing now, it's quite frustrating because we're back to like the late nights and the scrambles and trying to like keep up with everybody, and putting everybody else in their businesses first. So try to take a pause and realize that businesses will be okay. We'll be okay. We'll eventually get there, but it does create kind of that scramble, which is not fun.
Yeah. So I think it's interesting that your very first comment was like, oh, that's really not a priority, which is the whole reason we started kind of asking these questions in our coffee chat, is because I think most people are like, oh yeah, we don't ever talk about that when it comes to our workplace environment or what it brings to us. But then you followed it up with, you recognized you needed something. And so you had to make a change. And that change is still, you've got 4 kids. I mean, this baby is adorable, right? But I know how much hard work babies are, and trying to make a full-time job on top of that. So I love that, like, despite not talking about it, you were able to recognize that you needed something more and make that change for yourself.
Yes, it's been good. And I'd say this year, I mean, for as rough as 2020 has been a lot of personal development, which has been so helpful, and just continuing to stay afloat and everything and thrive more than just survive.
Yeah.
So true. So true.
That's great. I love that.
Yeah.
Good answer, Caitlynn. Well done.
Yeah.
5 stars.
Yeah. Put that on a board somewhere, like a gold star from Anna and Selena.
I'll take them.
Something that will mean a whole lot.
Geez.
I'll take them
right? Oh my gosh.
So we have a topic coming up right now. And this time around, I was like, I'm going to spill the beans here about myself here. I am not a financial, my stress me out. Okay. I maintain the finances for our family because I have to, because my husband deploys, because he goes TDY, because he's gone all the time, right? So if the bills aren't in my name, I would one day be sitting in the shower and the water would turn off on me because he's gone somewhere and not paying attention to the fact that our bills needed to be paid, like utilities. So I maintain the finances, but when it comes to business finances, I'm like bare minimum. So I'm excited for today's conversation because I feel so uneducated. So our tool today is QuickBooks, and then we're going to get into something that Caitlynn is doing as kind of her this new thing she's doing, but QuickBooks here is like a very popular small business accounting software. And I actually know how to use QuickBooks. Like, I think I'm smarter about financials than I think I am, but it's like electricity. I don't want to play with fire.
Sorry. To get hit by an airbase. I have no other explanation than the teacher are fine by right now.
Yeah, I love that. Welcome to an Air Force base, everybody. Who's right now.
We're not even on base. We're like 5 miles off base, but we're within the pattern. So, we'll get it all the time.
Such is Caitlynn's life.
Yes, exactly. Anyway, so we'll get into the toolkit because I'm excited to kind of start to feel more comfortable with these things. So QuickBooks, small business accounting software to manage income and expenses. If you're familiar with QuickBooks or you use it and you're watching right now, pop it in the comments. And if you don't use QuickBooks, tell us what you do use. And if it's okay if you say Excel spreadsheet. It's okay if you say that. It's okay if you say like Dubsado, which is kind of my own personal. It's not really an accounting software, but you know what I'm saying. So yeah, let us know what you're currently using right now.
And then Caitlynn, is this your? This is what we use, right? But is this your software of choice, or do you have one that you prefer? Like what? Spill the beans.
So QuickBooks is what I prefer, and it's I hate saying it. So it's mostly because they're an industry leader. They're popular. They integrate with everybody. From the accountant side, QuickBooks is actually trying to go after clients, which is a little frustrating. And so that has turned a lot of accountants off from them. It's hard though, like I said, to leave the person who is the biggest in the industry. When you talk about like Dubsado and Stripe and Square, like they all integrate with QuickBooks. And so to leave that convenience, I haven't pulled the trigger on. So someday I'd love to maybe move to Xero or something like that. But QuickBooks works how I want it to work. It works how an accountant thinks. It integrates well. I just wish they'd like leave our clients alone. That'd be great.
Yeah. You know what? I just heard of Xero and I'm like, what is the thing? But then in case I don't know, Caitlynn is my CPA. And so I just do whatever she tells me to do. So if one day she sends me an email that says we're navigating from QuickBooks to Xero, I'm like, whatever you say, Caitlynn.
So interesting, we have a couple of people that responded. So Sharina is familiar with QuickBooks and Excel and Google Sheets.
Perfect.
Nan says QuickBooks was the way to go. We've got Casey that says QuickBooks and HoneyBooks.
Yeah.
And then John says that I keep our money under the mattress. But that's not true.
How do you manage that, Caitlynn, when you have a client that says, how do you want me to send you the info on the money under my mattress? Like,
you know, Google Sheet's great for that. You can just like type in, I deposited $50 between the mattress, and today was $25 I took out from under the mattress. I mean, we can keep track. It's all good.
Okay. There is hope for you, Anna. There is hope for you, right?
Yes.
Oh my God.
So.
Okay. This is what I wanted to bring up, and I was telling Anna this is I honestly, I mean, I did it myself, and I think I was waiting for the right person to pop into my life to be like, this is who I want. And I wanted to make sure it was also a military spouse, which Caitlynn also happens to be. But Caitlynn has been literally like, I'm able to breathe and I am not stressed out because she takes this load off of my shoulder. And so we thought toolkits is, you know, it's everybody should have a toolkit of some sort. And if you need a money manager, she has a program course. I don't know how you call it, like, you know what I mean? It's a launch. right?
Yeah.
So, and I just want to bring this up, and again, have a toolkit for your money, and just consider Caitlynn. I'm going to let Caitlynn just describe it real quickly, and I'm going to pop in the link so you know how to find her so you can look for it.
Yes.
Yeah, so what Selena and I work on, she's in my CFO program, so we do everything for her. And not all businesses at that level where you can have me come in and do it all for you. And so what I've come up with is, after seeing so many business owners, like, I just can't keep up with my bookkeeping, is we've come up with the CPA hour. And so it's 1 hour a month. It's a live co-working via Zoom, might move to StreamYard, we'll see. Where we all get together, you bring your receipts in your software, whatever your choice is, and we're sitting down and working on your books that hour. So you can't sit there and continue to procrastinate it. I'm there for all the questions like, oh, how do I classify this? Or how do I set up my business? I am there to answer it. So you're getting access to me once a month. And then we have a Facebook group for all the questions in between to ask. So I had someone ask me how to demo pulling their profit and loss out of QuickBooks. And so we popped a little Loom video in. It's forever there. But it's really curated for those who are in it and where they're at, and the investments to hold you accountable. Because I compare this a lot to personal training. If you're following me on social media, like, I'm trying to get my butt back in the gym. That's not going very well. But I figure that's what it's like for people in bookkeeping. Like, I love it, but I don't want to go, going to the gym. And so for me, it's like going to the gym. I need someone to hold me accountable. I need to put some skin in the game. And so that's what you're doing, but you're getting all of that help along the way. And then as I see kind of the group needing trainings, I'm popping those in there, just really trying to help those businesses get in the right place.
What a smart membership based, course. I guess it's course I'm going to call it. But you know what? That is so smart, because for somebody like me, that's exactly what I would be looking for, right? Like a kind of a DIY solution, because part of me wants to better understand how to do this, because if I don't know how, I'm missing out on possible opportunities of growth in my business or understanding my business. I want to feel like I know all the different parts. And this is a great solution for somebody who's not a strong financial person, such as myself, to be able to still have that, but get it right.
Yes. And that how is so important. So I was actually following one of the coaches I work with in the industry. She was talking how one of her clients is missing $400,000. Like, their bookkeeper, accountant, there is paper issues, there's potential accountant issues, but it came back to the owner didn't know and didn't have the education to recognize that something was going on. And so that's a big part of it. I'm trustworthy, and I'm so glad when clients find me, but if you find someone who's not, it could be a big problem. So the education is just a huge part in making sure that you're really that CEO of your business, that you know what's going on, because at the end of the day, the CFO still reports to the CEO.
Yeah, that's so very true. And ultimately, as the CEO, you are responsible for what happens to your business. So whether you're a solopreneur or whether, again, you have up to 500 employees or more, you're responsible for all those inner workings. And so exactly what you just said, it's so important to know, even if you're not doing it by hand, it's not your thing, to know what's going on in that world. So we just popped the link to sign up for Caitlynn's membership group for the CPA hour. And if this is something that interests you, absolutely go check it out. Actually, I'm not even going to say that. I'm just going to say go check it out, because whether it interests you or not, you have to have it.
Yes.
It's a must. One of those musts, you know?
And you know what? I'm just going to say, sometimes people, and I think this is what Caitlynn and I talked about when I first hit pay invoice, right? Is the amount of time she saves me from doing what she does allows me to get more clients to cover the cost of having her, plus and more. And she's like my personal finance cheerleader. Like, every month she'll come back and go, Selena, great job. And I'm like, yeah. Like, if your CPA is happy, then you're doing good. You know what I mean? So I just think, there's just things you think but then you get involved with someone like Caitlynn, and you're either on the right track, or she puts you on the way to go on the right track. And I think that's why you just have to, if there's any expense that you should take, it should be with your finances. Like Caitlynn just said earlier, somebody was missing $400,000.
They can check under their mattress. I don't. I'm just kidding. But yeah, that's scary, right? If you don't know where your money is, and it's how do you find it? If you don't know where it is, who does, right?
Yeah. Exactly. Real fast before we move on to the next question. For our podcast, if you're listening on our podcast, we will have Caitlynn's link to her membership in our description. So please head there after the podcast and go check out her CPA hour.
Yes.
He looked at our little one side, please go see my mom. She's so good.
He's cheering her on. He's like, "Yay, Mom, go!"
Oh my gosh, I love it.
So Selena and I decided to do something just a tiny bit different today, and this is why I was so nervous about today's thing. But we decided that we were going to have Caitlynn ask us a couple of questions that would be standard questions that you as a business owner maybe possibly should know about your financial processes. And so we don't know what our questions are. Yeah. Goes the airplanes.
I love it.
Flying.
Sorry, I'm sure that's like messing up all of the sound stuff for you guys.
No,
it's fine. I have to tell you, living on military bases, that one of the things I miss most is hearing the cannons go off, or you can hear that stuff. We lived over the flight line in our last house, and it was just hearing those jets go back and forth, I totally get it. I'm like, oh, it's like,
right. Oh my gosh. Okay, so as Anna was saying.
Yes. So as I was saying, Caitlynn is going to be asking us the questions today. We don't know what they are, so I'm a little stressed out about it. But before we do that, one of the things that we really want to make sure everybody understands is what is the difference between a CPA and an accountant? Caitlynn, can you tell us what the difference is?
One and the same. So if they're holding out that they are a CPA, it simply means that what we've done is we've met board standards of education and testing and continuing education. So 10 years ago, I had to graduate with 150 credit hours designated by the state as to what they were kind of made up of. And then I had to take a 4-part test within, I think it's like 15 months before you start losing stuff. So you have to take 4-part test, you have to pass each part, and then work, in Nebraska it was, for 2 years under the supervision, there we go, of a CPA. And then I could hold myself out as a CPA. So we just have a lot more education around it, training. So there is kind of that aspect of working with somebody else. And then every year I'm required 40 hours of continuing education in the tax and accounting world. So we're talking like 1 full week of work has to be dedicated to making sure I'm keeping up on what's changing and what's going on. 2 of those hours have to be ethics, which is even more important. Like, by the way, don't go steal $400,000 from your clients.
Right.
So it's all of that. A CPA can specialize in different areas. Some specialize in audit. So if you were to go up to an auditor and be like, "So you prepare taxes?" They'd probably laugh in your face and be like, "Yeah, no, I have no idea." And vice versa. I specialized in taxes. So if someone was to ask me about auditing, I'd be like, "That's a great question."
Not me.
I do. Not me. So an accountant doesn't have to have those designations. They still can do bookkeeping. They still can do taxes. Unfortunately, the U.S. tax industry is not well regulated. So they still can do taxes and accounting and bookkeeping. They cannot audit your financials. And so that's what the CPA really allows me to do, is audit financials. I don't do it as a normal course of business, but I'm able to because I'm a CPA. And then tax-wise, you could also have an EA, and they're certified by the IRS to prepare taxes.
Oh, interesting.
Another acronym I need to know?
I know,
No, it
right?
doesn't matter. Whatever Caitlynn is, that's all I need. That's all I want.
Yes, for those looking for tax season, because it's around the corner, I highly recommend looking for EAs or CPAs because of that continuing education. There are plenty of great tax preparers who have 20 years, have no designations, are well qualified. It's just when you're just kind of building that relationship, it's nice to have something else and to know, same thing, the EA has to keep up continuing education. They're a little bit more closely monitored for their license. And so you have less chance of someone being like, hey, here's a really bad tax thing. I'm going to take your money.
Sorry, you're getting audited next year. Bye.
Exactly.
I'm moving to Greece with a new name that you don't know about.
Right. Well, they said they were trustworthy. No, but seriously, I had no idea there were so many differences, or that you were required to keep up your training to that extent, like 40 hours that's a lot.
It is.
Yeah.
This year it's been easy just because it's been so chaotic. Like we've had so many trainings. But yeah, just making sure you get it in is always something. And we're in that last 2 weeks. So if you're reaching out to a CPA, there's a good chance they're taking continuing education right now, trying to get it under the wire. That's why I'm uptight.
They're like, oh my gosh. Okay. So, you guys, now that you know the difference, I just learned a lot more even now. Like, I feel even more confident. I mean, I felt confident with Caitlynn anyway, but now I was just like, no, she really does know her stuff because she has to know her stuff. I don't know. Okay. Yeah. All right. So Caitlynn, do you have a question for us?
I do. So we are getting to this season, and so I'd love to talk about this. Do you guys know why tax preparers recommend that you become an S corporation?
I'm like, what's an S corporation?
Well, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know what an S corporation is. So,
we haven't had that talk yet.
Yes.
We will.
Tell us.
Yes. So here's the most clients that I get come November, December are coming to me because their tax preparer, CPA, whatever designation accountant said, you should be an S corporation. So they elect them into an S corporation, and then they never talk to their clients again until the next year, and chaos ensues. So an S corporation is a way to save money on taxes because, not because you can claim everything, because what you can do is pay yourself a reasonable wage. And remember, when we pay wages, when we're employees, we pay FICA, Social Security, and Medicare. When you're self-employed, you pay both sides of that. Remember, when you put your tax return together, you have employer's side of FICA, employee side, and you're like, oh, I just paid a ton of taxes in. Yeah. Because there's no employer paying your other half, it's you. So an S corporation allows you to designate a portion of your net profit, a portion of what you're doing as wages, and the rest of it is not subject to FICA. So you can save 15.3% in taxes because you're just going to pay income taxes. It becomes like a flow through item on your tax return. So this is one of the most popular things accountants are doing, and CPAs are electing their clients in, but failing to tell them that they have payroll liabilities now, that they have to designate a reasonable wage, and they need to pay that wage out along with those liabilities throughout the year. So come November, December, I've been getting clients and they're like, hey, I'm an S corp. I was like, great, what's your payroll? I don't know.
Oh no.
Well, now we're running a really big payroll.
Right.
We've got a lot of taxes to pay in, and you should have been doing this all along. So it's just one of those things that I see. And because what'll happen is you have to make that designation in the first 45 days of the year. It's going to become a popular topic in the next 45 days of hey, we should really elect you in. But you have to have that reasonable wage. And I've seen people do it when they've made $20,000 or so, and it's very hard to save money at that level. So now all you've done is add tax complexity. You've added another tax return to file. So if you're a sketchy CPA, it's a great way to make more money because now you're filing payroll and you have a new tax return, and wonderful. But was it in the best interest of your clients? So for my clients, it's typically a net profit of about 60 to 70,000, which is why Selena will be having that conversation here in the near future, is when we start looking at it making sense.
Yeah.
Because now we have a reasonable wage, about $30,000. And now that other 30, you're not subject to FICA, and you can start saving tax money on.
Oh, very interesting.
I feel really smart right now because that is some knowledge that I had no idea about. But I can see Anna's mind is like, huh.
It's true.
Because I just in my head, I was like, oh, well, that makes sense, right? And then I was like, oh, I didn't even think about the fact that as a sole proprietor, I'm going to have to pay both sides of those taxes. right? This is my first year in my sole proprietor, actual real, I actually have business. So there was two things that kind of sent my mind going, oh, and then, oh, well, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So one of our listeners actually knew the answer. So way to go, smarty pants, Nan. Because you can claim everything as an S corp, but it is good to know also though where you're saying in the best interest. So if you are making a smaller or like a startup entrepreneur, it's not in your best interest to be an S corp.
Right.
It's only when you hit a certain income threshold then that you're saying that it
makes more sense
over there because you can do that living wage versus employer costs. And okay, very interesting. Good first question.
Yeah. See, Anna was nervous.
I know, right?
She was. I mean, I told her, I said, but we surprise our guests. And she goes, yeah, but that's us. We could do that. Like, you know what I mean?
It's my show. I get to surprise people. That is allowed.
Men are like, S-corp? What's that? She's asking.
Oh no, she's gonna dump me because maybe she sent me something I should read and I clearly didn't read it. Like,
Okay, so tell us what's your question number 2? Let's move on. I mean, I'm really curious now. Where do we go from there?
Yeah, so that was the big one. So do you know whether or not as a sole proprietor and a single member LLC, whichever you want to decide, are you able to deduct and take deductions for retirement and health premiums?
Ooh.
Oh,
Good question. I don't know.
I'm going to say I don't know just because that never even crossed my mind.
Let's guess though. Okay, can we take deductions for retirement? And what was the other one?
Health insurance premiums.
Health insurance premiums. I'm going to say yes.
Oh,
that's my guess.
I'll say no. I'll say no. I don't know because I would say no. I feel like I'm wrong. Okay, who's right, Caitlin, me or Anna?
It depends. So my favorite answer, it depends.
I love it.
If you ask any CPA, that's our, well, it depends. I mean, facts and circumstances in general. So if you are self-employed, no one else in your house is carrying health insurance, so like your spouse isn't employed somewhere and carrying you all, then yes, health insurance premiums are what we call an above the line deduction. So they don't go on your Schedule C, they go on your 1040 and are a direct reduction of your tax liability, which is great. And it's adjustment to your GI. It's a great thing to do. You are paying those and your CPA isn't asking, be like, hey, I've got these bills. What are we supposed to do with these? And get that deduction. You're entitled to it. For retirement, if it's something like, if it's pre-tax, so an IRA, a SEP IRA, a simple IRA, all sorts of fun names, those are also above the line on your tax return when you're self-employed. This one can be, you can have a spouse employed elsewhere. You being self-employed can still do this and still get that benefit. The benefit too for like an IRA is you have until the tax return filing date, including extensions, to make that payment. So you can wait until April to put that money in. What a lot of people will do is they'll kind of file a little bit earlier and then plan on putting part of their refund in. So it'll increase their refund sum, put that into your retirement account, and now you come out ahead and you're planning for your future, which is absolutely great. It's a good.
I got a question. I'm like, wait, I have a question. So I'm curious, does your IRA have to be in your business name if you're a sole proprietor, or can it be like a personal IRA that you're putting into because you're a sole proprietor?
Oh,
It is IRAs are personal. Simple SEP, all of those are in your personal name. Your personal checks are cutting them. If you are an S corp, your S corp makes the payment for you throughout the year, still to your IRA. And then the deduction, it comes out of the S corp. So less income flows through, which is how you end up getting it. But for both of you filing on a Schedule C, it's your own personal IRA. And it just has to be the traditional IRA, not a Roth IRA.
Can you do company matching as a sole proprietor?
Not as a sole prop, as an S corp you can.
Okay, interesting. That's really interesting. I had never really thought about that in terms of like for retirement purposes, you know? So, okay, so, but can you do, okay, but it's no different because the IRA is your personal IRA, which I understand that portion of it. So it's not like you have an IRA that your business self is creating as well as a personal IRA. They're both the same.
You would only have a traditional IRA in your name. As an S Corp, you can do like a 401k program and have your employees and match. Like an S Corp allows you to act like one of those big businesses that we've worked for, and you kind of open up these other retirement options.
Yeah.
But yeah, so huge thing just to remember, and even to run the numbers. It's not a dollar for dollar usually, but it's still beneficial to be like, hey, I could save $300 in tax if I put $1,000 into my IRA. It's good for my future to do this, so I should just do it anyway.
Yeah, very interesting. Huh.
Noting.
Hey, if anyone listening out there has questions, like they want to raise their hand like I just did, pop it in the comments, because like this is good stuff that I didn't know.
You see, this is why I love her. I told Anna, I said, I learned stuff, and I said, and poor Caitlin, she like deals with my, hi, can I send you this TikTok video? And is this legit? She's like,
I loved that. I think I was nursing too when I got that. And I was like,
like, I thought this was spam at first. And then she explained that, yes, the video was legit. And it was just, I mean, we won't totally go into it, but it's like, you know, if you employ your kids and how you can do these taxes, and it was legit. Oh, I know. We're almost done, honey.
We're almost done.
We did good. Here, let's see where we can find your mom. I'm going to pop this up while we talk about it. Caitlin, tell everybody where they can find mommy.
Hey, Jameson, you're good. So you can find me on LinkedIn, Caitlynn Eldridge, Facebook, and then Instagram, Caitlynn Eldridge. That is where I hang out the most in my stories. So you'll actually see, if you were to go find me today, I've been posting like crazy. If you guys have been following anything, we've got a new stimulus package coming out in the next day. We've got more PPP loans coming down the chute. So I am trying to keep everyone updated there because it's the holidays and it's the last thing we want to think about. But these are important things, the biggest being that these PPP loans might actually, we're going to be able to take the expense, which is huge.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome.
It is.
Okay, so even if you don't have the funds to afford a CPA right now, or if you're not prepared for that, go follow Caitlin, because clearly she's going to be giving us information. Yeah, this way right here. She's going to be giving out information that will just help you navigate that really murky world of financials. You know,
yeah.
I mean, even just those little tidbits she gave us today made me smarter about what direction my business needs to go financially, which is kind of a big deal, right?
Yeah. No.
Caitlin, you're amazing. I love this. We need to have you on again. Like, we should have like a financial moment, right? Every season, some sort of financial something. Like,
I love it. Maybe we have Caitlin give like a Caitlin tip, like, hey, did you know? Are you doing this in your business?
Yeah,
Let's hope. We'll have to talk to Caitlin about it and see if she's willing. But you know,
seriously, I think it's super smart. So we had oh look, we already got Nan's on. She's on ya. She's on your Instagram right now.
Yeah, following her now. Love it.
Thank you.
Oh, we do have one question from the audience. Do we have time for a question? I don't know.
Yeah, let's just do one last one so we can let the poor James, like, there we go. Okay.
He says, John Larson, I want to buy a vehicle to use for business. Is it better for the business to buy the vehicle, or to buy the vehicle from a personal standpoint and lease the vehicle to the company and make the vehicle use a perquisite for the business owner?
Depends on the business and what you're doing. So if we're a sole proprietor, Schedule C, it's usually better for the person to buy it, track your mileage, take the deduction, and or track all your actual expenses, including like a lease payment if that's what you're doing, or interest. And then you can take a piece of that. If we're talking like you're an S corporation, or you're a business that like regularly uses it. So I've got a couple businesses that are like tree trimming. And so it makes sense for the business to drive the truck and only use the truck for business purposes. So if it's a car that you're going to use it all for personal, that's where we kind of get a little fishy. So it's hard to say like, oh, definitely do X, Y, or Z. But something like a CPA business or a website design, if we're traveling to see customers, it's just better to take the mileage, own the car yourself. And yeah, that's where I land. It depends.
It really does.
Yeah. And it's like, I just don't want you to leave.
We're like, here's where you can find her. Oh, wait, we have one more question.
No. Because we got to go find her.
Like, now go find her.
I have 4 kids. I'm used to the like swap, up, down. I'm here for it. I'm flexible.
Okay. Just remember, again, I'll pop it up. You can find Caitlynn here and connect with her here. And if not, I know how you could hire her too. Just hit me up. Like, she's amazing, worth every penny.
Yes, and if you're, she says she's on Instagram the most. So at Caitlynn Eldridge on Instagram, even just to follow her daily, weekly stories, tips, and tricks. Go for it. Do it. So if you have a question for our audience, do you mind your financials? Do you do it? What's in your comments? Are you up on them? Are you up to date? I'm going to be the first one to admit I am not.
Yeah.
And I know the end of the year is rolling around. Caitlynn, you will probably be hearing from me. So, you know, I mean, first year of business, but this is also my first year of business taxes. So I want to get it right from the start, right? I want to make sure I'm doing it right from the start. And then, okay, so I think,
So yes, one, thank you all for joining us and Caitlynn today, because she's given us like a wealth of just little gold nuggets. Like, can you imagine if you have like the whole treasure trove of her? Like, seriously, this is why I can go to bed at night and not stress out about like, I don't know, like the IRS, like chasing after me, you know what I mean? Going, do you know you did this line wrong? Like, you know what I mean? But, thank you for joining us. And just to remind you all, we are on holiday break. So Anna and I will be surfing in the snow of Texas. Just kidding. We're not surfing. We're not snowing whatsoever.
It's going to be like windy and cold and rain with 0 snow.
So we want to thank Caitlynn and Jameson for being our final season finale guests. This was a great way to end the season. Seriously, one, again, Caitlynn said, you're coming close to tax season, so get ready, be prepared, find somebody you trust. Now you know what a CPA really does, and you can have a little bit more confidence in knowing, you know. And I'm just doing this as a shout out. Support your military spouses, because they are brilliant, brilliant people. They're all over. Caitlynn doesn't just do military spouses, I'm sure. So that just says, you know, if you're looking for somebody, there you go. You go.
Absolutely.
So, and then you can find us all down here. Anna's flashing our hashtag. You can find us on YouTube, on Facebook, on all the things, our podcast. Subscribe, like us, so you can always get to know these amazing people that we bring on, our guests. I think that's it, Anna.
That's it. Caitlynn, thank you so much.
Thank you.
We love that you are our last guest of the season.
Yes.
And I were like, why again did we go like 4 days before Christmas? But this is why, right? Because business doesn't stop just because Christmas comes around, right?
Yeah.
So we really appreciate you taking time out of your family and your busy schedule and helping us out with our business questions on the financial side.
Yes.
And then for everyone listening, we'll see you in January. We've got ideas, but no like first guest exactly lined up yet. So we'll be announcing that soon. And who knows, maybe we'll have a financial tidbit time, you know, from our financial barista.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, I love it. All right. Okay, happy holidays, everybody.
Happy holidays. Thanks, guys.
Bye, Jameson.
Yeah.